Good morning, everybody. Jody Brozick for Winter Warriors Live here with head coach Dan AAKER prior to our first round playoff game. But before getting to that, let's review Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central. Really a nice 40-0 victory.
Yeah, I thought we played really well defensively. We kind of piggybacked off the defensive game we had against Wagner. And I know that we've been, stressing defense here the second half of the season, and I think we led them to 70 yards. We were able to get some pressure when we got to them. We made plays and then really shut down their run. They were a team that, as I mentioned last week, going into that had really kind of struggled putting points on the board offensively. They've shown the ability to move it a little bit, but just haven't been able to score. And we certainly did not want to be the team that allowed their offense to have a breakout game. And that set up a lot of things. I think field position was our advantage a little bit in the first half, and then we were able to finish drives. It was a physical game. I thought a lot of hitting, a lot of popping. Line of scrimmage was well contested. I thought Trevor really, he's ran hard all year, but I think it was like a new level for him against Woonsocket, which was nice to see. He had a big game, and all our guys did. We really ran the ball well. Didn't have to throw much at all, and just really kind of wanted to establish, what we want to do, and I thought we did a good job of that. Probably the biggest thing that we talked about when we came in at halftime was being in this situation before. West Central, MVP, game in control. Are we going to play a full 48 minutes and not take a step backwards? And, I think we did that. I think that we finally played a solid full game. And once it got to running clock, we were able to sub some kids down there. But I think it was a good mental boost for us to keep a shutout, and not only keep a shutout, but just limit the yardage from their end on the second half defensively. So we were really happy with the way we played. We talked about being playoff ready, and I thought we played a playoff type caliber execution wise Friday night.
You talked about the physicality of the game. We're going into the playoffs. Did you come out of that injury-wise? How are we going into the playoffs?
Sam Kruger, he didn't really notice it Friday night, but on Monday, hip started bothering a little bit, so we sat him out the last 2 days. But I think that had a lot to do, might have happened more in practice on Monday. We really dealt with a sloppy, muddy field. And it was still that way on Monday because it froze and it didn't absorb. And then when we got up there Monday, it had finally melted, and it was just like it was last week, and really kind of sloppy. And those are the things that you probably worry about the most in those type of conditions is, your footing not good and your body maybe getting put in different positions that they're not used to. And I think that maybe had a little bit to do with that. But, Sam's a tough kid. He'll be fine. He'll play tonight. But he's one we're kind of, we'll keep an eye on, especially depending on how the game goes tonight, of a guy that we could possibly get out earlier than normal, just to, if you rest him if we're able to get tonight and looking ahead. So other than that, we came out healthy.
You're kind of a historian of all football, but winter football. Custer winner, that's our first round playoff game tonight. What's the series here? Just
2-0. You think the West River team that we would have played more often than that, but I think first time, I believe it was 86 off the top of my head.
It was 86 degrees below zero.
Was it that cold? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we remember talking about that when we played them in 2012. Yeah, it was really, I remember getting stories of that game. I think that was 24-8, 24-6. Then we played them in 2012 here in the same round and beat them 49-0. So for two teams that are, West River, you think we would have seen
strong programs.
Yeah, but have saw each other more than we have, because we played the Hot Springs numerous times, St. Thomas More, Belle Fourche's numerous times, even Lee numerous times, but not Custer. So kind of not very familiar with each other. But we're definitely looking forward to the matchup tonight. They come in 5-3. I thought that this is why you never spend. I have assistants that like to spend a lot of time figuring out the PowerPoint formula, but I've learned a long time ago that that'll just drive you crazy, and you spend way too much time with all the scenarios that could happen. Because really, we were not expecting Custer this week if you would have looked at the big picture, and that's kind of how it fell into place with them beating Lead, Stanton County losing, and then just when we found out late Friday night that you were going to play that's why you don't ever get ahead of yourself and spend too much time on who your possible opponents. But yeah, they're a young team. They're a run first team. You're going to see a lot of pro formations, whether they're an I, split, pistol. But that's really kind of what they want to do. They'll throw out some trips and some double slot and some throwing sets too. But I guess I wouldn't necessarily call them throwing sets because they try to run out of that as well. They just try to spread you out a little bit. I think defensively, without question, the biggest key is stopping the run because that's what they want to do. And I can honestly, I feel that going into this game, we have an advantage up front. That hasn't always been the case this year, but I really feel tonight we have to control / dominate the line of scrimmage. And if we do that, we're going to be in good shape. But I feel we're better there, and our guys got to perform at that level in that area. And their quarterback's probably our biggest concern. They have design runs for him, but he can get loose. And, you know, we've kind of upped the pressure a little bit the last few weeks. I think the Coach Olsen will still do some of that. But it's not so much the fact that we've talked about really getting to them and getting home on a sack or something. It's getting pressure, keeping them contained, and then collapse the pocket and not letting out. They've been a big play team offensively, and he's been a big part of it. He's fast, really fast, and he's not real big. And he gets out there, he's gonna get some yards. So that's our probably number one concern. We really have to be assignment football in all phases. Not the strongest arm, so we really talk about our secondary, make sure everything's in front of you, come up and rally and help if he does get loose. But it all starts by stopping the run, and you know, they've had some big plays out of their run game too. So I think big plays is the number two thing that we really got to do well defensively and limit that, and you know, and not let them to, you know, move the ball and extend the change as much as possible. Defensively, they've shown a couple different fronts. They were more of a 4-man, 4-3 kind of cover 2 look for the first half of the year. They really kind of went to more 3-5 as of late, and we've seen them both. We've probably seen more 3-5 this year than we've seen ever. So game planning against that defense, you know, we feel pretty comfortable about it because we've just seen it from a lot of teams and how we execute it. And the 4-man front's what we run, so we know how to attack that too. It's just a matter of executing. But you know, I think that anytime this year, you know, turnovers will always play a big role, and we got to take care of the ball and hopefully, you know, get some of those. And then just plain clean, we can't give up big play. Hopefully we create some big plays and just play solid defensively. It's going to be windy, I think. I think the wind's going to come down a little bit about game time, but you're still talking 15 to 20. So how that plays out and what you do with the wind, against the wind, you know, falls on my shoulders. But I think that that's some things that, you know, you hope to use that as an advantage if you can. And if you get them into the wind, that you keep them into the wind and keep that field position on your side. So we'll see how it plays out, but we're excited. Our guys know where they're at in the year. We talk a lot about this. We built to this point, and when in practice we're not doing much individual anymore. I mean, that's what we based our entire process up to now, is to be ready to go with the small stuff. Now it's just a matter of preparing for your opponent mentally, and you know, getting ready for their tendencies, being lined up right, and then executing on offense about what they're going to give us. So I expect our guys to play well tonight. I really do.
11B playoffs as a whole. What are you looking for tonight? Big games?
Yeah, you know, I think that I'd say the majority of the home teams would be considered the favorite. The interesting one, I think, would be Beersford, Sioux Falls Christian, and you know that Sioux Falls Christian is on the road that game, but it would probably be considered the favorite. You know, even that's a road game, but I think there is a little disparity from the top 5 or 6 on down, and I think when the night's over, you'll see those top 5 or 6 still alive, and it'll be interesting in the second round how that all plays out. But right now, yeah, we're focused on tonight, and we can't control anything about next week or where everybody goes. And to be honest with you, you know, we're probably where we should be. You know, when you lose a game like we did against MVP, there's consequences for that down later in the road, and that may be going on the road if we survive the night. And if that's the case, we'll be fine, and we'll get ready for that.
Biggest question I've ever asked you in the history of Winter Warriors Live. Purple and gold jerseys tonight.
We're going purple. You know, we got nipped in those gold jerseys, so you probably won't see them again the rest of the year. I'm a little superstitious at times, and so we're going purple from here on out, no matter how many home games we have.
Gotcha. Good luck tonight, Dan.
All right, thanks, Jody.